Be careful who you marry. Amma thought she had found love tall, handsome, gentle, and rich. But on her first night as a bride, she found her husband's death certificate hidden in his room. The date was 2 years before their wedding. In a quiet village near the riverside lived Amma, a young woman known for her beauty and kindness. Her laughter was as soft as the river's song, and her smile lit up the market square. Many men had asked for her hand, but she refused them all until Kwame arrived. Kwame was not from the village. He appeared one market day, tall and handsome. His voice was smooth as honey. He looked like the kind of man every woman prayed for, respectful, God-fearing, gentle, and rich. From that day, Kwame and Amma grew close. Her friends were surprised. "Ah, Amma, where did you see this kind of man?" her friend Afia asked, half joking, half jealous. "We, who have been searching, have not even seen one mechanic to love us. And you? You just sat down quietly and jackpot came to you." Amma only smiled. She didn't like to talk too much. She believed maybe it was her time, her blessing. Kwame visited her family soon after. He brought gifts of gold and fine cloth no villager had ever seen. Though he seemed mysterious, Amma's parents welcomed him, saying the gods had blessed their daughter with a husband of wealth and strength. Kwame asked for Amma's hand in marriage. Amma's father was a man who believed every stranger must be known by his roots. As they sat under the moonlight, he asked gently, "Kwame, my son, whose child are you? Where do your parents live?" Kwame's eyes dropped for a moment. His voice grew soft as he answered, "I lost both my parents long ago. I grew up wandering, working with my own hands until God blessed me with success." The old man sighed deeply, his heart softening. He reached for Kwame's shoulder and said, "You have suffered much, but the gods have lifted you. May he bless this union." From that day, Amma's parents treated Kwame like their own son. The villagers, too, pitied him for his orphaned past and praised his hard work. No one doubted his story. After all, was it not wealth and kindness they saw before their eyes? Amma herself loved him even more. She admired his strength, his humility, and his gentle words. She thought, if he could rise from nothing to this, then surely he is the man meant for me. The wedding was grand. Drums echoed through the night, the river's waters glittered in the moonlight, and the villagers feasted until they could eat no more. Amma was filled with joy, though she noticed Kwame never ate, only raised his cup without drinking. She told herself it was nothing. When the celebrations ended, Kwame drove her to their new home, a big house at the edge of town. It was painted white, with tall palm trees in front. Inside, it was quiet, almost too quiet, with furniture that looked untouched. Amma felt a shiver as they entered. Kwame smiled, holding her hand. "Welcome home, my wife." They sat in the living room. The silence grew heavy. Amma tried to joke. Your house is too quiet. No neighbors making noise." Kwame's eyes darkened for a moment. "I like peace. Only the living make noise." Amma forced a laugh. "What do you mean by that?" Kwame only stared at her, his face unreadable. She wanted to speak again, but then she heard it a soft whisper echoing from the empty corridor. "Amma!" Her heart froze. She turned to Kwame quickly. "Did you hear that?" Kwame only smiled. Then the whisper came again, louder this time, echoing through the walls as if the house itself was calling her. "Amma, Amma." Amma's hands shook. "Kwame, what is that?" Kwame stood slowly. In the dim light, his eyes began to glow faintly, like embers in the dark. "My wife," he said, his voice no longer calm. "Tonight, you will know who you truly married." Amma stood up slowly. Her chest was tight, her fingers weak. The living room no longer looked the same. The lights seemed dimmer, the air colder. The silence in the house was not normal silence. It felt as if something alive was listening. "Kwame," she whispered, "you are scaring me." "What does that mean?" she asked again, trying to keep her voice steady. He did not answer directly. Instead, he picked up her handbag and held it out to her. His smile was faint, but his eyes were strange. "Come," he said softly. "Let me show you the rooms." Just as they were about to move, Amma's phone buzzed. It was her mother. Relief rushed through her chest as she picked up quickly. "My daughter." Her mother's voice came warm and sleepy. "How is your new home? Are you both fine?" "Yes, ma," Amma said, forcing her voice to sound normal. We are fine. Kwame watched her with soft eyes that did not blink. He raised a finger to his lips, silently telling her to speak quietly. Ama, her mother added, I had a short dream. I saw you standing in white, and there was wind. I don't know the meaning. Just pray small before you sleep. I will, ma, Ama whispered. Then the line cracked. A deep hiss filled her ear, like a radio without signal. Ama, her blood ran cold. She pulled the phone away and tried to redial, but the call refused to connect. She tried again. It rang and rang. No answer. Kwame tilted his head and said softly, It might be network. Don't worry. Stay here. I'm coming. He walked away, his movements slow and smooth. His feet made no sound on the tiles. Ama gripped her bag and hurried to the switch. She turned on all the lights. The white room became even brighter, but the brightness brought no peace. She decided to do something simple, something normal. To calm herself, she took out her phone and opened the camera. She snapped a photo of the corridor. The first photo was fine. She snapped another. Her hand trembled. In the second photo, the corridor lights were on, but the end of the passage was dark. And in that dark stretch, 4 faint shapes stood tall, thin, pressed close to the wall, like people trying to hide. Their faces were unclear, their arms hanging lifelessly at their sides. One of them was turned slightly, as if looking straight at her, her chest hammered. She lifted her eyes quickly to the real corridor. It was empty, just lights, tiles, and silence. She looked back at the photo. The shapes were gone. Just as she was about to scream, her eyes caught some papers by the bedside. She moved closer and opened them. It was a death certificate. Kwame Richard died in a car accident. The date below said 2 years ago. Ama's blood went cold. Her knees almost gave way. No, she whispered. No, this is not real. Kwame stepped forward. Ama felt her knees weaken. Kwame, please, tell me what is happening. He nodded, as though he had finally decided to speak. Listen, I made a promise long ago. I promised to live with peace. I promised that love would not end just because a body ends. Ama stared at him, her chest tight. What does that mean? Who are you really? He reached out a hand to her, like a man trying to comfort his bride. Love does not end because a breath stops, he said gently. I told you, I am not like others. Ama stumbled backward, clutching the paper. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The curtain lifted, though the window was shut. A soft whisper filled the room, not one voice, but many, like a crowd standing just behind the walls. Ama! Welcome! Ama screamed, but only a thin sound escaped her lips. The ring on her finger turned icy cold, then suddenly burned hot like fire. She cried out, clawing at it, trying to pull it off, but it refused to move. She looked up at Kwame with wide, terrified eyes. Please, she sobbed. What are you? He took one slow step forward. His shadow did not move on the floor. Then, as the lights flickered again, Kwame's feet lifted an inch from the ground. He was no longer standing. He was floating. Your husband, he said calmly. Beyond death, the room went black. Ama tried to run, but her body felt heavy, like invisible hands were pressing her down. She screamed, Kwame, please let me go. He floated closer, his voice calm, too calm for the horror around her. Ama, you are my wife now. She shook her head violently, tears streaming. You lied to me. You tricked me. You are not a man. You are something else. Kwame, please, she cried, her voice cracking. Let me go. I don't belong here. You are mine now, Ama. You walked into the vow. You wore the ring. You let the house take your name. There is no turning back. She staggered back against the wall. No! No! I will not stay. I will not be your bride. I belong to the living. Ama whispered the only words she could remember, her grandmother's prayer. River, return what you did not birth. God of heaven, close doors that should not open. Blood and bone belong to the living. The voices hissed, twisting into anger. The walls trembled. Kwame groaned and covered his ears, his body flickering between solid and shadow, man and mist. Ama pressed her bloody palm against the wall where her name was written in the hidden room. She screamed, I erase my name. It does not belong here. I break every covenant that binds us together. Kwame stretched out his hand to her, his voice breaking now, no longer calm. Amma, don't! If you leave, I will be lost forever. Amma's tears streamed down her face. Then be lost, you already died. With a final cry, Kwame dissolved into mist. The whispers stopped. The curtain dropped. The lamp steadied. Amma fell to her knees, trembling, her hands over her face. When she dared to look again, the room was empty. The house was only a house, with weak steps. She walked to the front door. This time, it opened easily. Cold dawn air swept in. Fresh and free, Amma stepped out barefoot, her torn wedding dress dragging in the dust. She did not look back, but as she reached the forest path, the river stirred and carried a faint, broken whisper to her ears. Amma, my bride. When Amma reached the first huts of the village, her mother came running, wrapper loose, tears pouring. She wrapped Amma in her arms and cried, my daughter, you are alive. Amma clung to her mother and wept into her shoulder. She had survived. Be careful who you marry. Not every rich, handsome, or generous stranger has good intentions. Appearances deceive. Do not rush into vows you don't understand. Marriage is more than gifts and beauty. Thank you for watching. Tell me what you learned from this story. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more.